with Done by Dorothy. We are here. We're gearing up for our January launch of our step-by-step tutorial we're going to be doing. And we are going to be doing a nature-themed journal. Right now I'm still in the final stages of getting everything together. Because, you know, we work along as we go. We don't pre-plan everything. We sort of work along as we go and decide what we're going to do. So I told everybody I would get together with them today and let them know exactly, you know, the type of paper I'm using, you know, the amounts I'm using, that type of thing. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, share with your friends, that type of thing. So let's get with it. So I teed and coffee dyed paper yesterday. Isn't that pretty? Love me some paper. Okay. So what I do now is I sort of go through if there's any extremely dark places. That doesn't bother me too much. I just don't want, you know, a page where it's, I'm trying to find a page. I have a couple, I know, because I've seen a couple pages that were just extremely dark. This doesn't bother me when it's like this. It looks really awesome, but because we are going to be doing a nature themed journal. So for January we're doing a nature themed. So, you know, those dots like that sort of gives it that naturey, I don't know, sort of dirty look to me that I like. So I'm sorting through, and you know, I have some pages that, you know, just came out really light. Like, see, that's extremely dark, so I'm gonna set that to the side. I don't like I sort of keep those. I like to use those for my backs sometimes, or, you know, because see, like, this is light enough. I can put this on the back where that it's not gonna be so dark, or, you know, I could use this part here where it's really nice, but not use this, so it gives me more options. So I'll go through and I will get, like, see, that one's not too bad. But see the difference in that darkness, the degree of darkness. So this one's okay. And it's just my pickiness. Some people like that. That one's really dark. And the dark ones are usually the ones, you know, like, see, that one's not too bad. It's got some darkness, but it's got some lightness, so I think that's okay. But I'm going to set it to the side. I'm going to set both those to the side for right now. That one's not too bad. And that one's not too bad. It's got a lot of lightness to it. So, and I mean, you do want some dark. You just don't want them so dark that, you know, you're not going to be able to, or any ones like maybe the page overlapped when I was doing it, so parts dark and parts light. Those are really great ones to use, you know, for the back of tags. And I mean, I don't mind that. And it's fine, because when I am doing my page, I can cover up some of that. And I'm gonna need some for backs of tags and all that kind of stuff anyway, so, ooh, I know, right? Okay. So let's set that to the side. Then I know for this journal, because I've already did a little bit of pre-planning in my head, that I want to do 3 signatures. So this is going to be a 3-signature journal. Each signature will have 6 pages. So I know I need to do 3 separate piles of 6. Now, this is just how I do it. You can, you know, to each his own. I like to take my pages and I pull, like, because these are, you know, in the order that they came out of the oven. So the degrees vary, but like this one, see, it's really close to this one that's identical to it. So I'll immediately separate those into 2 because I want a variety of paper. So I will just split 1, 2, 3, you know, 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 3. And 4 And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and separate these, and then, you know, I may actually pull this one out. It's a little darker than I like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 5, 2, 4, 5, and I wanted 6 pages per. Okay, so I've got my 6 pages for each signature, which with 6 pages, because, you know, when you fold that in half, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 pages out of each sheet. So if you use 6 flat pages, when you fold that in half, you're going to create 24. So by doing that, we will actually have 72 pages in our journal, but we haven't added anything else. This is just our coffee dyed right now, so we will have more than that. So, oops, I got my sponge in there. So I'm gonna take these, and then I actually found mine at Myers, I believe. I found these gigantic paper clips, and they work really, really great. So I'll just paper clip, and you don't get that the indents that the small ones do. And again, I found mine at Myers, but you can buy them just about everywhere. And these are actually 4 inches long, so, you know, if you can buy some, those were great. You can use anything. If you're going to use binder clips, paper clips, anything that can cause an indent on your paper, what I suggest is getting a piece of cardstock, you know, just like a scrap piece, or even like a label. Like this is a label off of a packaging, obviously Pioneer Woman, but you know, just fold it in half, or like even tags off of charms or anything like that. Put it over top, then slide your binder clip and stuff, because that's going to take the indent instead of your paper getting it, just because it weakens your paper. So there is our 3 signature pages. Okay, then to let you know just what I have, and this is, again, is just me. I didn't really count, but I want lots of extras. That's just me. So I have my 3 signatures, so I have 24 pages, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I have 28 pages here. So I would say if you have 50 coffee dyed sheets, you would have more than enough. I always make extra because every time you make a batch, it may color a little different, depending on the temperature, depending on the amount of time you let your tea bag soak or your coffee bag. I did use tea bags for these. This is tea dyed, not coffee dyed. So I would say if you have 50 coffee dyed pages, you should be covered. And you're going to have extra left over, more than likely. But then at least you have, you know, you have enough for what you need. So I have 50 coffee dyed pages. That's what I made. Then well, not coffee dyed, tea dyed. Then while I had my tea and my thing, I did a little bit of lace. And there's probably, again, this is just one type of lace that I did. I haven't done it all. And there's probably about 5 feet. I don't really worry about over dyeing and having too much, because you can always use it for anything. So, you know, I just grabbed a bunch and dyed it. So that is one lace. I have some others I'm going to do, but what I'm doing, some of those I will actually do when I start working with the fabric, and I want to dye some in colors and stuff like that. So I will actually do that for a video. So that's one. And then I had this old crinkly doily, and I dyed it up. You really can't tell, but it actually has been coffee dyed or tea dyed. Then this was from the Dollar General. They have these, and you get like 2 of them for $1, but mine was actually 50% off towards the fall, I think, because it has the leaf designs in it, which I really don't care. That goes with my nature theme, so I can actually cut out my leaves plus have all my scrap. So I got these were like 50 cents for 2 of them. So this is one that I did in the video where we did the quick method, and you might want to check the quick method of dyeing out. You can do that. And then I just did a sheet of cheesecloth. Again, if you can't find cheesecloth, you can use gauze or anything like that. Now, with mine, the ones that I got, the pieces I have actually came in like 2-yard sections on a big, huge bolt. I happened to find it at the Goodwill for like $2. Yeah, seriously. So it was a big find. So you don't have to have that much. Again, because I use this all the time on everything, I just go ahead and dye it, you know, by the 2-yard section as I go. So I have that. Then all of my individual little goodies, and I don't measure out how many I have of these. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, I have 24. I just happened to grab them. These are the little, they're clear. There's no printing on them or whatever, but they're the clear index cards. I get mine from the Dollar Tree. You know, if you don't have index cards, it's not quite as thick as cardstock. I mean, you could use cardstock. It's not nearly as thick, but I find it just great for, you know, backing different little things. So I always do throw some of those in. And again, if there's extra left over, you can use them for tags. You know, you can stamp something on them, throw them down in an envelope or whatever. So I always make extra of those. So I did about 24 of those. And then I have the large ones, and these actually have the lines on them. You can buy them blank or lined, both, either one. So like on the small ones, you know, if you think you may want something lined, you know, buy the lined ones. You get a blank side and a lined side, so you have an option when you get ready to use it. I just happen to buy the clear ones because, or the blank ones on both sides, because that's what they happen to have when I was there. So then I just grab a handful of these, and again, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, so I grab about 25 or so. You know, what I do, they come in 100 a stack, and I just basically take about 1/4 of the stack, so it's not exact. So, I mean, and again, we won't use all these, but they're already tea-dyed and ready to go, so I like having them ahead of time. Of course, when I put my tea bags in my jar, and then I use my kettle, heat my water up, and I pour it over. But you always have little grains of tea that seep, even in, like, you know, your Lipton bags or whatever. I actually use PG Tips, which is like from England, is actually where they're based from, and I actually buy those because I've used Lipton, but Lipton doesn't seem to dye as nicely as the PG Tips, so that's just from my personal preference. But anyway, after I put in my jar and, you know, they've set and it's seeped and, you know, all that, I'll reuse that jar like 3 times and fill my baking dish up before I dip. But I always like to strain my tea bags and all of my tea after it's seeped through a coffee filter. And so I always just keep it because I can use it for backing. So that's what the coffee filter's from. Then I had some of these large 2-page guest checks, and you know, I did like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did like 8 of those just to have them. We may use them, we may not. Again, that just happened to be, I have a bunch of these. I'm actually going to be listing this in my store, in my Etsy store. So, you know, stay tuned for those because those will be for sale there. Then these are the small envelopes, and these measure, not quite 6.5 by 3.5. They are just your standard little security envelopes. And I did 5 of those. So I may actually end up doing some more of those because I love how these work. And I know one of the things I wanted, one idea that I knew I was going to use several. So yeah. So I would say I did 5 here. I would say if you had 9, 10, 12 envelopes, you would be good. So I probably will do some more of those. Although, actually, if you want to do 5, because we actually did a different variety. So yeah, if you want to do 5 of those, and then I had 2, 3, 4. I had 5 of the large envelopes, and these are sort of like your large card envelopes. I don't know if you can see these or not. They're, if it'll show up really good or not. I'm trying to add enough light in here. It's actually like an embossed envelope. It's really thick paper. So I did 5 of those too, which is why I only did 5 of those. Now that I remember, I had to think about it. I did 5 of those, and then these are the security envelopes with the windows. And then what I do with these is I put them down into my pan with my tea and let them set for a while. I take the strip off, let them set for a while, and then after they open up and they're wet a little bit, I'll open them up and take this off. I'm not worried about this because I can repair that. And then I take that window out because if not, and you try to bake it, it's going to become an issue. Your other option is, if you want to leave your window in there, and I may do some with the windows, is you do your tea dyeing with it, lay it up somewhere, and let this air dry. Do not try to bake it in the oven because you will just melt that plastic up and it makes a big mess and you end up wasting your envelopes. So there we go. So right now, that's what I've gathered so far. You guys are probably going, what? What do you mean? So yeah, you know, I do a variety of things, but I like to have extra on hand, you know, just in case I need it. And then I'll show you in just a second how I sort of, because I'm sort of planning, you know, my project, and I know it's going to take over time, and I don't want it to take up all of my space. You know, we only have so much working space, and it's easy. So what I do is I bought one of these little totes. Well, I use them on all my craft things or whatever, but I got mine at the Dollar Tree for $1. You can use anything. You can use a shoe box, you know, any kind of box that you want to use. And I just lay all my stuff in here, you know, sort of divided where it goes, you know, and it's all in here. And then I'm actually going to move my paper clips on my things to the top. Instead of the side. I do have flat trays that I use sometimes, but that I do that on a, you know, if I'm doing something right then. With this, setting it up by the days, you know, it, okay, so I just leave the back ones loose, separate my signatures like that, and then I can actually pull this, and this is actually wide enough that I can put my pages in there. So I have everything in that one little tote, which even as I'm working through the project, I can pull from this, you know, set it to the side of my table, pull it out as I need it, so it's out of the way. Like I said, we are doing a nature journal, and so I'm working on finishing up I will be including, you know, some of the free images just like I did for Christmas. However, I did create a kit to go along with this that are just the base pages. So, you know, say if this was, you know, one of our signatures in our thing, you know, you would have a base page. Let me see if I have an example. I know I have an example because I just I just finished this one. This is not the one we're making, but I just finished this one. And hold on, I will show you. So, like, okay, as you're flipping through and you have your page and you have all your embellishments, and then you have this nice, pretty, solid page just to sort of add a little bit of, you know, decoration to the page. Just your digital image kit page. I did create a kit to go along with this that I will be using. We will be doing all the sort of things like we did for Christmas, you know, where we create all the ephemera and all that. But I wanted, you know, especially with having 70 some pages, you're not dealing with, you know, the few pages that we did before. So I wanted, you know, something that was going to add a pop of color and just some really prettiness to it. So I will be listing that kit and linking it. It will be, you know, for sale in my Etsy store. I will be the very first day that, you know, we launch this, the Nature Journal project, I will be putting a coupon code up so you can save on this if you're doing the tutorials along with us. So, you know, I will give you a little bit of a glimpse. I'm not showing you all of it, but I will show you a little bit of it. It is called Mirabella Nature, which is actually wonderful, beautiful nature. And so I will show you a few pages. I won't show you all of them. There is 12 5x7 pages. So, and there will be, you know, all kinds of images. A lot of the ephemera you'll get as, you know, the digital as the free images that we'll be adding. So just to give you a hint, it is a calligraphy nature typed kit. So there's a lot of writing on it in different fonts and styles with some cute little images. It is gorgeous. I fell in love with it. So I hope you did too. There's the moth, there's the tomato. Yeah, some little beetles. I don't know, like the half of an apple, some rosebuds, you know. And there are places on some of the pages where you can journal. I love this one with the little salamanders. And I try to do just a variety of and it came out so pretty. Let me see. Just trying to see what other one I wanted to show you. I'll show you this one last because I really like this one. And then there's that one. It almost has like a Celtic type nature-y design. All this is in writing, different types, and there's some gold in it, some fruit, insects, shells, you know, all kinds of nature-y things. So just to give you an idea, you know, that's the prettiness that we're going to be working with. I fell in love with it. So let me know in the comments what you think about the kit. I just absolutely love it. With these right here, and I may, you know, be coming out with several different ones. You know, once we get this done, then I'll release all the ephemera. Like I said, some of it will be launched. There will be some in kits in my Etsy store additionally in the future. So that's what we're working with right now. So I wanted to come on and just sort of share with what I was doing. You know, if you don't want to use as many items, then you know you have that option. You know, if you don't want to go 3 signatures, and say you're starting your first one and you just want to do 1 signature, you may go 1 signature. That's perfectly fine. There are no rules with this. You can do whatever you want. You can just make the ephemera and, you know, stuff it in a loaded envelope if you want. That's perfectly fine. I do not care. Again, when I'm doing these are just basically, you know, to step-by-step guide you through, you know, what we're doing. So I did want to come on and share, you know, the kit and the prettiness of it. And I will try to get this exact kit that we're going to use loaded, you know, by the 1st. So it will be there. So, you know, if you need to print it, you can go ahead and go on and copy and print it and have it done. And again, you know, you don't have to use these just as base pages. You know, there is tons, I mean, of these images. I think that's, I don't even know if that's one that I showed you earlier or not. You know, there's tons of fussy cutting that you can do and use, you know, or if you just want the lettering, even just as a design. So, I mean, there's a ton of stuff you can do with it. I can tell you some. I've already got working on fussy cutting pages. There's pockets, there's belly bands, there's a gorgeous book plate. So there's a variety of things that are going to be coming with this that we're going to work with. And again, you know, some of those will be free. Okay, most of the ones we're going to work on in the thing will be, in this journal, will be free. The kit will be the purchase option, and then afterwards I will release additional ephemera that I've made that I don't get to use because I've, in like normal fashion, sort of overdone. So, but I wanted to come on and share with this. So remember, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the images. Let me know what you think about the nature theme. If you have any suggestions or things you'd like to see, or certain things you would like to do in this journal, you know, while I'm finishing and trying to get everything situated, you know, pop it in there and let me know. I will let you guys go. We will be back again, probably before the 1st of the year, maybe the 1st of the year, depending on how things go. But I did want to come on and share this, so please, please, please let me know what you think down below. And again, throw in any suggestions. We will be back to see you at the 1st of the year. If you do not see me before then, have a wonderful new year. Please be safe. And we will be back again in 2020 with, you know, our journal visions. So we will see you later. Take care. Be safe. Bye.